Good morning, Reverend. Please rise and introduce Lieutenant Mario Grandes, playing for national, sing national anthem.
Detail, hand salute.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, go.
Please remain standing as the right Father, at the end, my chaplain, Father Christopher Keenan.
Detail, on come.
Lord, our Creator, Father and Mother, we gather this morning with Kaylee and Christian and Kira to remember and celebrate at this plaque dedication of their dad the gift of their parents, firefighter Keith and Elizabeth King Young, to each of them, to whom they gave life, and to all of us as a fire department family. As you know well, Lord, our little Trinity here has had more life experience than most of us as adults. And not only journeying with Mom and then Dad on their separate paths from long-suffering cancer diagnosis through death to new life, where they are now together in their dwelling place in your kingdom that you prepare for them. And they also resiliently keep their parents' legacy alive, finding creative ways to give back to the community and to others. Even journeying into the Shark Tank with the cupboard pro of their dad, of Keith, and then to William Sonoma, while at the same time developing and keeping alive and well their mom Elizabeth's dance studio. Lord, our Creator, Kelly and Christian and Kira, humble us. And then call us to remember and celebrate through the witness of their lives, their young lives, that each of us, our lives are not for our own sake, they're for the sake of others. And together as the young family, they remind us what we can't do alone, we can do together. These three young adults literally redefine for us creative ways to always remember, never forget. And as the three of you further journey with resiliency toward your spiritual adulthood, we pray for each of you and for the three of you together, that you may continue to develop the serenity to accept the things you cannot change, that you may increase in the courage to change the things you can, which you have done, and that you may grow in the wisdom you already have to know the difference. And for Kelly and Christian and Kira, we all say this prayer for them together. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Peter, we come.
Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning. My name is Lieutenant George. I'm from Loudoun Club A. And I want to thank everybody for coming to today's plaque education ceremony on a full member. He was to us on March 17th, 2018. I'd like to and I'd like to introduce the members of the dais. Flight Commissioner Daniel Magno. First Deputy Commissioner Laura Cameron. Please hold your applause until the remaining members of the dais are announced. Wayne Borough Commander Eddie Bagg. Manhattan Borough Commander Michael Lajola. Deputy Assistant Chief of Fire Prevention Kevin Griffin. Chief of Special Operations John Esposito. Division 13 Deputy Chief Daniel Brown. Deputy NY Chaplain Father Chris McKean. President of the New England Firefighters Association Jerry Fitzgerald. UFA Queens Trustee Michael Pizarro. UFA Sergeant at Arms Kevin Judson. Lieutenant Corps Commander Dion Hubert. Assistant Commissioner Family Assistance Evelyn Tisserand. Captain of 311 James O'Hara. We are especially honored to have a family of fire people here today. Manny, Kira, Kristen, as well as a number of family members and close personal friends. Welcome to you all. I am honored to introduce the first speaker, Commissioner Daniel Magno.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today to remember and to really celebrate the life of firefighter Keith Young. Keith succumbed to his battle with cancer in March of 2018 after years of brave service as a New York City firefighter. He was still fairly new to the job when we were attacked 18 years ago, but he stood tall, just like a veteran senior man, toiling at the World Trade Center site throughout the rescue and recovery effort. As a member of Ladder 156, Engine 319, and ultimately here at Ladder 158, he put himself in harm's way, shore after shore, working to help others. He fought fires, he rescued those who were trapped, and he performed outstanding work. In fact, on 2 separate occasions, he was recognized for his bravery. But you all also know he was not just a remarkable firefighter, he was also a remarkable chef. And we all know that those two things don't always go hand in hand. Keith won awards for his culinary skills. Like helping others, it was one of his true passions. Remarkable firefighter, chef, and one more thing he was remarkable at, being a father. Kaylee, Christian, Kira, his 3 incredible children, epitomized courage and resilience. Among his many accomplishments in life, the children he raised with his late wife Beth, who also succumbed to cancer in 2012, remain his greatest achievement. All of us saw their poise on the national stage, and we continue to be blown away by what they do. Kelly, Christian, and Kira, this ceremony today is how our department says thank you to you for all that your family and your family, your father and your family has sacrificed. This plaque is a promise we make to never forget him, his bravery, and all he stood for. This firehouse and every house that he has served in was his second home, and it will always be your home as well. Our gratitude to Keith will not be diminished by time, and our obligation to his family is not forgotten. May God bless the young family, and may God continue to bless the empty and one.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we will hear from the North Bay President, Gerald Fitzgerald.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to say a few words on behalf of the members of the UFA. Brigadier Warner, Keith Young, outstanding firefighter, outstanding man, outstanding father, husband. Keith was a veteran in the department, well respected by his peers and beloved by all who knew him. For 10 years, he was a member of Ladder 156, and then he continued his service here in Ladder 158. Keith was also an expert in the kitchen, one of his beloved and unmistakable qualities. One of his accomplishments, or one of the charitable things that he did that is very dear and should be to all firefighters, he wrote a cookbook. By writing that cookbook that he donated to every firehouse, I recommend the barbecue ribs and the goulash. If anybody wants that, they're very good. But he donated all the proceeds to charity, to the Alsassa Fund. For those that might not know it, that's a charity that's designed to help the families of firefighters who die non-line of duty. It's one of our best charities, and Keith knew that and remembered that and took care of that. Obviously, we recognize him for the love and compassion that he showed your mom. Great tribute. Those are just a few examples of the selfless man that Keith was. He's gone from us, but definitely not forgotten. So while we are here today with his family and loved ones, his daughters Kayleen is here and his son Christian, for solemn remembrance. We are here to celebrate their life and cherish together the impact that he had on them and the impact that he had on us all. So to the young family, I offer my condolences. I know that the loss of a loved one is never easy, and it never gets easier. But know that your father, our friend, Keith, left an unmistakable impact on the department. He, along with so many others, too many others, will never be forgotten. So today we erect a plaque in his honor, like his memory within all who knew him. This is a permanent picture of the firehouse, from this point forward honoring his sacrifices, his service, his presence, and most importantly, his love for the department and for his loved ones. We've had too many of these. We just found out we had two more funerals this week. So, very sorry, but this is a good day. It's a solemn day, but this is your home. Remember that, all right? Thank you. I'd like to bring up Matt Desjardins to present the UFA plaque to the family.
It's an everlasting tribute for his dedication and service, Keith Gardner. Hear from firefighter Keith Young's good friend, Ryan Margaret.
Good morning. I'd just like to say a few words about Keith Young, a guy I knew just a few years that had a big impact on my life. He was a loving husband, caring dad, and a great client. He always knew when Keith was in the firehouse. You'd either be in the kitchen with a loud laugh and a ton of dishes in the sink, or you'd be in the bunk room at night, you'd still know he was there, because you try to go to bed and you trip over his feet hanging off the end of the bed. Like all firehouses, guys like to break chops on guys. One time, Keith came in exhausted, right after he brought his new home in Montauk. He tried taking a nap before dinner. And of course, the guys didn't let that happen. Fireworks went off, and Keith got up with a laugh, shrugged it off. Later that night, after midnight, when everyone was asleep, he went to the gym, got some 50-pound weights, and started spinning him, and he got pumping. If you ever heard it, you wouldn't believe it. It sounds like a train is running through the firehouse. Needless to say, everyone, no matter what room you were in, was awake. And all you heard was his laugh at the end. There was even a junior guy once who threw his clothes down the hall. The kid took it in stride, gave it a week, found out who it was, and came back and Parmesan cheese his entire locker. It smelled like that for a week. There are many stories like this. Not many things bothered Keith. Most things would roll off his back. He was a big guy with a huge heart. Loved his wife, loved his children, and loved the FDNY. KY was a great man who left us too early. I'm sad that he's no longer with us, but grateful for the opportunity to have worked with him here in the swamp. God bless Keith, God bless the young family.
Thank you, Brian, for those kind words. We now hear from Keith Young's daughter, Amy.
Thank you guys all for being here today. My dad loved all of you guys so much. You were his brothers and sisters. And I just wanted to share a couple of words from my dad's cookbook that just really expresses how he felt about being a fireman. We firefighters never know what our day is going to bring. It could be fighting a fire, but it could also be answering a false alarm, an EMS call, or dealing with an overturned car or an elevator that's stuck. Some days are slow, other days are busy. Some days are full of fun and fooling around, others are sad and somber. But no matter what we're called on to do, and whatever the mood, the one thing that's certain is we've got to eat and eat well. The people you work with in the firehouse are like your family. And like most families, the one time we have to get together and relax is during meals. Sometimes my family sits with me in the kitchen while I cook, drinking coffee, and shooting the breeze. Or sometimes they leave me alone, which is okay too. Cooking helps me clear my head when I'm in a bad mood or when I've had a rough day. It's also a good time for me to think about how quickly my kids are growing up and what I can do to improve their lives without making mine miserable. For me, the simple act of cooking can turn a rotten day into a pretty good meal, and that's not bad at all. One day that even the comfort of cooking couldn't turn bad to good was September 11, 2001. I remember that it was a clear and sunny and warm, and that it was the first day of pre-kindergarten for our son, Christian. He and our daughter, Keely, were all smiles that morning, and Christian was particularly proud of his new backpack. My wife and I walked him to the bus along with Keely and our two dogs. We took lots of pictures of them both, and then Christian's bus pulled up. Suddenly, his big blue eyes turned all scared and nervous, and I got a little teary. But my wife told me, just let him go. So we hugged and kissed him and took another picture of him through the window and off he went. After that, we walked Keely to her bus stop. After waving her off with more hugs and kisses, my wife and I walked home. I remember feeling how lucky I was to have such a family. Shortly after we arrived home, there was a phone call from my wife's nephew, Rob Wolfe, who's a volunteer fireman in the town where we live. The first tower of the World Trade Center had just been hit, and he told us to turn on the television. I was watching with my wife and my mother-in-law when the second plane hit. My wife was in tears and my mother-in-law just didn't know what to do. All I could think of was how much black smoke there was and how were they going to get up there and put the fire out. I knew I'd be losing someone I knew that day. I was pacing around nervously, practically sick to my stomach. When the first tower came down, I said to my wife, we just lost 200 men. I'm going to have to go in. She cried and begged me not to go, but I told her I had to go. It was my job. Then my lieutenant, Bill Howley, called. He said he thought we'd lost the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel and that I had to come in. My wife wouldn't let me leave without seeing the children. So first we waited for Christian's bus. He was only in school for half a day. So by that time he was on his way home. Then we went to pick up Keely, who was of course delighted to be getting out early. Always still want to get out early. I took both kids for ice cream and got them 2 scoops instead of the usual one. Then I told them that something bad had happened and I had to go to work. Keely asked me when I'd be coming home, and I told her I didn't know. I'd be home as soon as they let me. I told them both to take care of their mother and their grandma and be good to each other. They promised and we got in the car. But they started fighting and I started yelling at them, and then my wife started yelling at me, telling me I was being too tense and I should try to calm down. I couldn't wait to get to work. Driving on the Belt Parkway, usually one of New York City's busiest, in the middle of the afternoon, there was hardly another car in sight. It was the eeriest feeling I've ever had. When I finally arrived at the station, my lieutenant told me I wouldn't be going to the World Trade Center site because he needed me to stay in Brooklyn. The only apparatus left was the brush fire unit. I tried to argue with him, but it didn't do any good. I was stuck and totally frustrated. Cooking is the only thing that keeps me sane during those dark hours. There were about 20 volunteers from New Jersey at the station, along with our regular quota of 13 men. Altogether, I fed about 40 guys. It kept me busy, and I felt at least I was contributing something. As the night turned to early morning, some of our guys began straggling back from Manhattan. They were exhausted, their eyes were swollen and bloodshot, and they were completely covered in dust. At 3 a.m., I went upstairs to get some rest. I tossed and turned. The following morning, the chief told everyone who had been there overnight to go home and get some sleep, because we'd have to come back the next day for a 24-hour shift. My friend Steve Ward, engine 276, and I got in the car and drove straight to Manhattan. When we got to the site, the devastation was almost unbelievable. There was at least 2 inches of dust covering everything, debris all over the place, and thick smoke still coming out of the buildings. The 2 of us just started working. We did things that day that I hope we never have to do again in our lifetime. We were all hoping for a miracle just to find any survivors. We worked until that evening before going home exhausted. When I got home, I hugged my wife and kids like I had never had before. Every single firefighter lost someone he or she knew that day. A brother, a firefighter, a sibling, a best friend. Some best friends died together. That November, Brian DeFusco, ladder 156, and I decided to run a New York City marathon in honor of the friends we had lost. We met up with Brian's friends, Will Downey, ladder 103, and Brian Gallo, ladder 24. None of us had really trained, so we were hurting and wanted to give up. The thought of our friends kept us going. We all crossed the finish line together. Today, I want to thank you guys all for running this race of life with my siblings and I together and supporting us, and we're so grateful to have you guys as our family, just like your dad was. Thank you.
We now commence with the dedication of the flag.
Please unveil the plaque.
And Chuck, center of space. Forward, space.
The plaque reads, dedicated to the memory of firefighter Keith R. Young, Ladder Company 158, who bravely served this department protecting life and property in the city of New York, in the rescue and recovery efforts at Manhattan Box 55887, World Trade Center, March 17th, 2018.
Detail on cover.
With your mom and each of you, we bless this plaque, which is blessed by the gift of your dad's life for all of us. And he promised that his commission, as your mom Elizabeth stood with him, I offer my life to protect the life and property of the people of New York City. This plaque is already blessed by the commitment of your father and your mom. And we say to all of you who are still here in this house, that when you go forth from here and you pass Keith's and the other plaques that are here in the house, that you know on your path forward that Keith and all your brothers and sisters ride with you on every run. And may you come safely home to this community and to this place, and to all of us who love you for having offered the gift of your whole life forever to protect the life and property of the people of New York City. We thank the Lord for the blessing of Keith and Elizabeth's life to ours in the overflow of their love and the gift of the three of you. And to this we all say, Amen.
Detail, recover. Everyone please rise. And salute.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Fire Commission, the Queen Borough Committee, the other members of the dais, we want to thank you for attending today's special service ceremony. I want to show love to our former brother, Brother Keith Young. Rest assured, no one will ever forget. This concludes the clarification. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.